And now to the next steps after last night's failed stadium tax vote. Good afternoon, I'm Laura Moritz.
And I'm Kelly Eckerman. Kansas City is trying to keep the Royals and Chiefs while other counties are trying to reel them in. We have team coverage keeping track of the talks that have already happened today. KMBC 9's Matt Evans is keeping an eye on Clay County and Kansas, but we start with Dennis Evans. He shares the Kansas City mayor's message. So Dennis, what's the latest?
Yes, Kelly, as soon as the vote was over, people just kind of looked around like, what in the world just happened? Some were sad, some were glad, and a lot of people just confused. Well, today, Mayor Quinton Lucas had some words of encouragement. Now, clearly, the majority of people in Jackson County were not in favor of the sales tax extension and did not want the money going to a Crossroads ballpark for the Royals. This was not the result the Chiefs or the Royals wanted to hear, but today Mayor Lucas made it clear it's not the time for panic or for overreaction, and the plan is still to keep both of the teams right here in Jackson County.
My belief is that the Kansas City Royals and the Kansas City Chiefs will continue to play in Kansas City, Missouri, in Jackson County for years to come. What you saw yesterday was a rejection of a plan and a process. I think that there are many more steps ahead in terms of what the teams do, but there's a reality, which is this. The teams have outstanding facilities in Jackson County, in Kansas City right now.
Now, another thing that's important to note is the fact that these two teams are still under contract here. They have leases, and so they would not be going anywhere anytime soon. There are other plans in the works to maybe reconsider this down the line, take a look at possibly another vote on the downtown ballpark, maybe even in a different location, but still plenty of time to get things worked out. Now let's go to Matt Evans. And Matt, today you talked with some people who are around the region who would love to do nothing more than to pull the Royals and the Chiefs out of Jackson County.
Well, Dennis, you mentioned reconsidering things. That is what some Clay County leaders would like the Royals to do, reconsider this site where we're standing. You might remember that this was one of the final couple of locations when it came to the Royals Stadium sweepstakes that played out over the course of the last year. And now Clay County leaders say that they are willing and open to talk to the Kansas City Royals once again to restart those negotiations. Of course, this and the East Village were the final two, according to the Royals, and then eventually they settled on that downtown Crossroads location. They did seriously consider this site in North Kansas City, so much so that it was one of those final two sites. Here are the renderings of what a ballpark might look like here. Now, it's not just Clay County that would be interested in the possibility of bringing in the Royals or the Chiefs, but the Kansas State House in Topeka has also been buzzing today about the possibility of bringing one or both of the teams across the state line. One Kansas State senator thinks that could certainly be a viable option.
But I do think it's doable. We have a proven track record for successfully bringing large entertainment and economic development venues to the state in this region already.
And we did learn that there are some talks happening behind the scenes in Kansas today about ways to bring at least the Chiefs over the state line. We will hear from Clay County leaders about the potential to get this site back in the mix coming up at 5 and 6 tonight. Live in North Kansas City, Matt Evans, KMBC 9 News.
Thank you, Matt.
All right. Well, Kansas Governor Laura Kelly has addressed her hope of a Chiefs move in the past.
In fact, she made this comment 2 years ago.
I would be all for it, obviously. When I signed the border war truce with Missouri, it didn't include the Chiefs.
Again, nothing is a done deal. The Royals and Chiefs have released no official plan since that vote came in. Their current leases run out in 2031.
And you can count on KMBC 9 to keep track on all the developments from both teams. You can download our app to stay in the know and get updates first. And you can go to KMBC.com to see all the election results. You'll find the numbers for every mayoral, city council, and school board race, along with tax issue results. And we have pages dedicated to each category of the vote.